Hi everyone. For this week we'll be doing Lesson 7, Jesus the Messiah. As always, we have split up the different paragraphs in your textbook into the different sections, so we'll start with the introduction. Introduction, Jesus the Messiah. The people of Israel waited hopefully for the coming of the Messiah for a long time, and with the birth of Jesus, the Son of God, this waiting was fulfilled. Here we'll see different key words that we'll use in this chapter. The meaning of the word Jesus is Savior. The meaning of the word Messiah is the Anointed One. The actual word Messiah is taken from the Hebrew word Mashiach. And the word Christos, which is used in Greek, Christos actually means Messiah in Greek. Thus, we have derived the word Christ from the word Christos. So, all in all, the word Christ and Messiah both have the same meaning. And then the word Jesus the Messiah signifies the whole mystery of the incarnation, which means Jesus actually becoming human, the Son of God, God becoming human. Messiah and the hope of the Old Testament. In the Old Testament, we also hear the word Messiah. It's used as the king who is sent by God in the fullness of time. The meaning of the word Messiah, like we talked about earlier, is the Anointed One. The Old Testament also bears witness that the life-giving power of God dwells in the Anointed One. So what the first two bullets are trying to say, the bullet points, is that the Old Testament emphasized that the Messiah was coming, who is the Anointed One, and that he will be the one giving life-giving power of God. Back in the day, during the time of the Old Testament, the kings, priests, and prophets were types of people that were also considered the anointed ones of the Lord. Because of this, that's why everyone prophesied and believed that the Messiah to come would be all three, would be a prophet, a priest, and a king. So the people of Israel believed that the Messiah, who was to be born in the family of David, would save Israel and redeem Jerusalem. The people of Israel hoped that the powers of the nations would be destroyed and that the Messiah would rule Jerusalem as his center. This hope of the people of Israel was actually fulfilled with the birth of Jesus. The Messiah in the New Testament. The New Testament introduces Jesus as the Messiah. In St. Mark chapter 14, verse 26, Jesus himself accepts at the end of his public life that he is Christ. With that being said, the Jesus in the New Testament, Jesus coming as the Messiah in the New Testament, the Messiah that everyone was waiting for, it was not the Messiah that the Jews had initially hoped for. He did not liberate Israel politically, but instead he painted the picture of a suffering Messiah. With that being said, the miracles of Jesus and his authoritative way of teaching made it clear to the people that he is truly the Messiah. St. Peter even said, who is the head of the apostles, he said, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." Next, we'll be talking about different roles of Jesus as king, prophet, and priest. First, we'll start with the kingship of the Messiah. The people of Israel deeply believed that Jesus was the Messiah who would deliver Israel. So we'll talk about a few scenarios in which we see the kingship of Jesus. One, the effort which people took to make Jesus king after the multiplication of bread was to confirm that he was the Messiah. And then also, the royal entry into the city and cleansing of the temple was also to confirm him as the Messiah. The evangelists introduced these events as a fulfillment of the prophecies about the Messiah. Majority of the Jews believed that Messiah would be a powerful king. However, God did not send his only son to establish the kingdom on earth and to rule, but also to reconcile men with God so they can receive the kingdom of heaven. In the Gospel of John, chapter 18, verse 36, Jesus clearly states this about his kingship. My kingdom is not from this world, but it is of service and self-dedication. So what's important here, even though Jesus came as a very humble man, and he came as one can see as a suffering Messiah, it's important to realize that the kingdom that he was speaking for and doing everything for was not for the kingdom on earth, but the kingdom in heaven. Next, we'll talk about the role of the Messiah as prophet. When people witnessed Jesus' miracles, they believed he was a true prophet. In the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 7, verse 16, it states, "A great prophet has arisen among us, and God has looked favorably on his people." When John the Baptist came to know about Jesus' miracles, he asked Jesus, "Are you the one who is to come, or are we to wait for another?" Jesus revealed he is the true prophet by saying, "Go and tell John what you have seen and heard." The reason why this is really important is because, especially during that time, it was very easy to believe that Jesus was another prophet. There were prophets before Jesus and after Jesus, and it's very easy to think that he is also another prophet. But what's important is to know the distinction. Even though there were people before, during, and after his time, Jesus was different, and not only the role of a prophet, but more of a savior of this earth. And finally, the role of priesthood of the Messiah. I feel like this role is personally the easiest for me to understand. But since Jesus was the Messiah, he was also a priest. Jesus sanctified the people throughout his public life, through his words and deeds. Jesus is also the only mediator between God the Father and men. He's the perfect bridge and intercedes for us to God. He fulfilled his mission in the world as a priest forever by offering himself completely to the Father on Mount Calvary with his crucifixion. The Epistle to the Hebrews testifies that Jesus is priest forever according to the order of Melchizedek, which is noted in Hebrews. It was the mission of Jesus to teach, to sanctify, and to lead, which are all three things that priests do, even in our own communities. Thus, through everything that we've discussed, this is how Jesus fulfilled his three missions in his public life, as prophet, priest, and king. And lastly, the Messiah, the Savior of the world. The incarnation, which means God coming in a human bodily form. The incarnation of Jesus was for the salvation of all mankind. It is only through Jesus that man can obtain reconciliation and be saved. Hence, he is the sole Savior and the Savior of the world. So prior to Jesus coming, we truly didn't have a way to be saved until he came and he was crucified, he rose, and he tore that veil that was keeping us away. According to the Gospel of St. Luke chapter 2, verse 11, the angel of the Lord told the shepherds about the birth of Jesus, saying, "To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord." When Jesus was brought to the temple, Simeon, the chief priest, saw Jesus and said, "For my eyes have seen your salvation, which you prepared in the presence of all people." We've talked about it earlier in previous lessons, that Simeon, the chief priest, recognized that Jesus was the Messiah to come and who was prophesied to come. In the biblical term, the word salvation means that man who is reconciled with God by the remission of his sins is with God in eternal bliss. So what this is saying is that the actual word salvation means those that are reconciled with God and forgiven of their sins. Jesus gave salvation to the world through his passion, death, and resurrection. So like we mentioned earlier, Jesus had to come to earth, go through everything he went through, die, and resurrect for us in order for us to be saved. The worship for this week. We have in our liturgy many hymns and prayers which introduce Jesus as the Messiah. It is the foundation of our faith that Jesus, who was born in Bethlehem and grew up in Nazareth, is in truth the Messiah, whom the Jewish people expected. Whenever Jesus is introduced in worship, the Church prays, adding the word Messiah to the name of Jesus. This hymn below is one of the hymns that we sing on the service of Christmas.
Glorious prophet Isaiah called Christ Maria on their wonder because of the wonder of the birth of Him in the flesh. Truly, the wonderful is as Isaiah foretold.
Life witness. The works of God the Father was realized with the coming of Jesus the Messiah. Let us share in that salvation, confessing Jesus as the Messiah. The verse to memorize this week is St. Luke chapter 2, verse 11. To you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is the Messiah, the Lord. This is what the angel said. The questions for this week that we can discuss as a class. 1. What are the expectations found in the Old Testament about the Messiah? So what was prophesied and what was expected? 2. How is the Messiah introduced in the New Testament? 3. Which are the triple mission of the Messiah, which means what are the 3 roles that we see the Messiah as? And please describe in detail and explanation. And then 4, describe the fact that the Messiah is the Savior of the world. The activity for this week is described below. In 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, it says, "But you are chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people of his own." So just like Jesus, the Messiah, was both priest, prophet, and king, and you can see all 3 roles in different parts of his life, how do you, on your own, find the triple ministry in the life of Jesus, and how can it be fulfilled in your own life? So try to find other examples of Jesus acting like priest, prophet, and king, and then how it can also apply to your own life. Other than that, we'll see you next week.